When I think about big life events, I can't help but think about my mom. I was in my mid-20s building my manufacturing business. My business at this point was booming. I mean, I felt like I was on top of the world. We just landed our first 7-figure contract, and I was like living my best life. And I'll never forget, I went away for a week-long trip, and I went home to see my mom, and I'm excited to tell her about these exciting work updates. And I got there pretty early, so she's still asleep. So I took out my computer, and I start plugging away, working. And I go make a cup of coffee, and I look at my watch, and I see like it's 9:30, and I'm thinking, it's kind of weird that she's still sleeping, but I'm not going to make anything of it. So I go back to my computer, I'm working, I call my business partner up, and now it's like 10 o'clock, and finally, in she walks. She's wearing a green sweater and gray sweats, and she sits down on the couch next to me, and she said, Danny, I have to talk to you about something. And I said, Mom, it's so great to see you, but just give me one more second, let me finish this one email. So I keep typing, and then she decided to close my laptop. And she said, I need to talk to you about something. And now I'm thinking, like, am I in trouble? I'm in my mid-20s. Like, there's no way I did something that I wasn't supposed to. And my mom grabbed my hands, and she said, Danny, I have cancer. Wow. I couldn't even believe the words that just came out of her mouth. Only 5 years earlier, my dad passed away from cancer. And I knew a difficult road was ahead. About 2 days later, my mom checked into the hospital, but despite the news, something beautiful happened. For the next 2 months, as my mom was in the hospital, she'd share these bits of gold with me. Bits of gold that would change the trajectory of my life. She'd say things like, life's hard, it's not fair, and life is glorious, so find your glory. She'd say, it's okay to not be okay today, but don't let this moment define you. Let it guide you. And she'd say, you have to decide the life you want to live, no matter what punches life throws your way. In those 2 months, so much happened so quickly. I watched my mom suffer as she got weaker and weaker. When the doctors told us that my mom didn't have much time left, we scrambled to make her last wish come true. To see my oldest sister get married. Less than 24 hours later, my mom's closest friends and my family poured into the hospital. They did my mom's makeup and made her look absolutely beautiful. I watched my sister bravely march through that hospital hallway as she chose to marry the love of her life despite the circumstances. I watched my mom sing and dance from her hospital bed as she cherished every last second of life. My mom would spend her last days dying by showing me how to keep on living. And after only 2 months in the hospital, my mom passed away. And my life would never be the same. You couldn't possibly expect someone who went through that, who lived through that, day after day for 2 months straight, to possibly, even remotely, return to work only 2 weeks later and be the same person. After my mom passed away, my relationship with work completely changed. And it's not that I stopped caring about my work or my business, because I didn't. But I also began to care about so many other things in addition to my work. My business partner at the time, he didn't understand how to support me through that. And while his intentions were good, he'd say things like, you know, Danny, at least you still have your business to focus on. But I didn't want my business. I wanted my mom.